We're 3 games through the season. We're still waiting to hit our stride. We've had a lot of fun so far, but you know what? I called Pat today and I said, with everything going on, it's time for the Rutgers preview. And we're going to have some fun. We got a complete dial-up locking in on Greg Schiano. I'm so excited for this game. Got the Scarlet Knights coming into town and an opportunity to, I said it after the Marshall game. This was the opportunity where we would be able to feel better about ourselves. This is the game. It's a Power 5 team coming in, haven't beaten a Power 5 out of conference Power 5, Power 4 opponent since 2017. This is the chance. It's a tough stat. It's a tough stat to read. It's the truth, though. And we have a chance to rectify that on Saturday in Blacksburg. Pat, how we doing, my friend?
I'm good. I'm back in Charlotte. Spent some time up in Baltimore. Went to the Bruce show on Friday night.
Was it awesome?
It is Rutgers week. We gotta lay some Bruce in here. It was a great show. You know, he got sick like a year ago. It was like around a year ago when he got sick. Had to cancel a bunch of shows. I know Philly was in that slew of shows. Baltimore, Camden Yards. Camden Yards is outstanding. You know, you have Fenway Park, you have Wrigley Field, you have Camden Yards. I know PNC, where the Pirates play in Pittsburgh, is second to none. It's unbelievable.
Where the Giants play over at Oracle.
Oh,
fantastic place to watch baseball.
Yeah, great park. Have you been to Camden Yards?
I have never been to Camden Yards. I've driven past it. I've heard amazing things. I think my baseball stadium list is now at like 14 or 15. I need to go to Camden Yards. It's on my list. I'm going to make it a priority to go next year.
Serious business. It is so nice and so clean in there. You walk around. They sell Jack and Coke.
Wow.
And Jack and Ginger. 2 legends, one can. It's literally it's like walking into a 7-Eleven. They just have this massive row of refrigerators, and they got waters, they got ginger ales, they got Coca-Colas, they got alcohol, they got, they had Surfsides. I mean, we got some Surfsides. It was unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
This was after the Jack and Coke pregame.
And if you do remember, Pat, he got sick right after our show. It was probably like, I think he did one more performance in New Jersey, and then that was it. Cancel the rest of the tour, but that must have been awesome. I know you've been talking it up all summer. So
Can you look at the camera?
Oh yeah, I have my window over here. Yeah, I can do that. That's better.
There we go. People like that. No, he played at the See Here Now festival in Asbury Park on the beach over the weekend too. Saw some Jersey Hokies out on the beach over the weekend. It was good, Billy Ray. Thanks for holding down the fort on the podcast last night.
Thank you, Coach Holmes.
Yeah, Coach Holmes. Tip my cap to you, my friend, in your exquisite mandolin and guitar collection in your podcast studio room. The weekend was good though. Was in Charlottesville for a wedding. Cousin, relatives, so much fun. Didn't get to watch like any of the game. Heard everything about how bad it was to try to consume with the bad audio and the bad video. All AV was not good. I couldn't find a condensed game. I don't know if you guys watched a condensed game.
It wasn't worth condensing, brother. It's kind of like that would be like going to the worst restaurant ever and asking for a box to take it home. You don't want that. You don't want that.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this preview. We will be in town this weekend. Should be fun coming up on Friday for Rutgers return visit here. Do you want to do the honors with our haiku?
I would love to do the honors with our haiku. Pete McGee, first of all, shout out to the fan base for doing a great job. Haikus have really taken off. I feel like they're having a moment right now. This might be the fall of the haiku. And I should say the autumn of the haiku because it almost insinuated that the haiku was ending, which it's not. Pete McGee. The Knights of Scarlet won't get away this time. Very good, Pete. Very nice. Hokies win this joust. Another one with the Knights. So, look, Pat, again, 3 weeks of football under our belt, a disappointing trip to Nashville, a defensive show up against Marshall, and 3/4 of solid football against ODU. Like, people want to feel better. This is the week to feel better. It's also a week that people could feel pretty awful stepping away from. But you know what? We're going into it with stakes. It's not like Marshall and ODU where you're either going to feel okay or awful. We got an opportunity to right some wrongs right here. We got an opportunity for revenge on last year. A lot of revenge in September. Revenge with ODU, revenge with Marshall, revenge potentially with Rutgers from just a year ago. So it's going to be sold out. It's going to be a ton of people there. It's going to be at 3:30. I got to tell you, the weather forecast looks awesome. Like, it looks fantastic. So I cannot wait. Should we talk about the whiteout really quickly? Just at the top, knock it out. It is a whiteout game. It's not at night. I think the whiteout looks great at night, but I also think that like any out looks great at night. I just encourage everyone to wear white. Wear white. When everyone does it, it looks good. When everybody doesn't do it, it looks not great. So wear white.
I think we've really started to raise the stakes on the whiteout game, and we're starting to take it seriously at Virginia Tech, because historically, Marshall, that would have been the whiteout game.
Wofford.
Think about that. Wofford was the whiteout game in 2022. And then we said, you know what? Let's do it for a conference game. I don't know if we ever had a whiteout for the conference game.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Prior to last year. It was always the FCS, divisional Carolina school.
Mm-hmm.
Putting Pittsburgh in whiteout, ACC network. Lane Stadium looked fantastic. Hokies went out and got a nice win. And here we go. A big Big Ten game with the white.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everyone follows suit and participates, especially if they were there last year, because they know that it looked awesome. So we're going to do our best to promote it this week, too. I think on socials, I think on X, I think on Facebook. Guys, if you're on Facebook and you're listening to this and you're not wearing white on Saturday, we're going to have some problems. I hope all the seat backs are wearing white, too.
Yeah.
I know the seat backs are black, but hopefully they're wearing white on Saturday.
Tell you what, I'm interested to see how many seat backs have been removed over the last 2 weeks, if they're even removing them. That's another data point I'm interested to investigate.
Should we talk about memory lane?
Let's do it, dude. Hokie history.
A lot of this is copy and paste from last year's pod. So if you want a little refresher, that's what we're about to do. 1869, the birthplace of college football. Rutgers and Princeton squared off. What's your commentary here?
Real quick, it's so whack. Like, they have to find something else. Like, there are some like things that are really cool, and then there are other things where it's like you clearly couldn't think of anything else that was better than this. I strongly encourage Rutgers to find something else to cling on, because I promise you, when Reggie is waking up in Baton Rouge and Preston is waking up in Oxford, they're not like rolling off their pillow and being like, man, thank God Rutgers played Princeton in 1893 so that I can do this today. Nobody's thinking that. So the only people that are throwing that around are you. Oh, double entendre. Are you? But I think it's kind of whack. Just one man's opinion.
Yeah, and I don't mean to go too ABC News with the fact check here, but it's crazy because I look up birthplace of college football, and Google gives me 3 different dates where the first football game took place. One of them comes from SHI Stadium. It says November 5th, 1938. The next one says November 6th, 1869. And then NCAA.com says, this is also the 1869. All right, we're going to stick with the original, 1869.
Wow.
And this is the first college football game was played in 1869. The first college football rules were written 7 years later in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1876 by folks from Columbia, Harvard, Princeton, and Yale.
Oh, smarty pants.
So I think you could say Rutgers public Ivy. They were playing public Ivy football. The Ivy Leagues stole their game.
Well played on the public Ivy chirp there, Pat.
Virginia Tech and Rutgers have played 16 times. Rutgers is based out of New Brunswick, New Jersey. There's a Rutgers Newark and a Rutgers Camden campus as well. It is the State University of New Jersey. The athletic facilities are based in Piscataway. So there's a Raritan River that divides Piscataway and New Brunswick. So when they say pandemonium in Piscataway, Jeremy Ito pointing at the camera after they beat Louisville in 2006, keep chopping. That was in Piscataway. Never seen a field rush like that in my entire life. Had a lot of buddies who were at that game. We were in 6th grade. They came into class the next day. They were like, sickest game ever. And I was like, damn, look at all these buddies I grew up with getting to go to Rutgers 25 minutes away from my front door. And I got to drive 7 hours to see the Hokies play. But I could never go because I got soccer on Saturday. So it was a tough childhood. But nonetheless, it was always a privilege to get down to Blacksburg as a youth and fitting it in when we could. So this is the 17th matchup against the Scarlet Knights. Hokies are 12-4 versus Rutgers, 6-0 at Lane Stadium. Old Big East rivals. This is Greg Schiano's first trip back to Lane Stadium since 2002.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he'd even been there before.
In his first stint as Rutgers head coach. Yep, he was 35 years old, and he was talking about it in his presser today. And I think we were multi-touchdown favorites. Sounded like it was a competitive game. Wasn't. I don't think I was at that one. But old Big East foe I mentioned, Russell Athletic Bowl, the Punt Bowl, one of the tougher bowl games to ever watch, or football games in general. What was that, after 2012?
Yes.
2012 or
2012 or 2013. 2013 was the Sun Bowl, so yeah, 2012.
Yeah, right after 2012. That was the Hokie Bird helmets.
Yeah. Which I loved, personally.
They're good. I didn't love the helmets, but they're good.
Rutgers had the solid, like the metal, like Nike. They were good-looking uniforms. I don't remember what they called them, but they were really cool.
They were chrome. They were cool. I think Cody Journell kicked us to victory that night. I know AJ Hughes spent a lot of time on the field, and I know Anton Exum had a big interception that night as well. If we talk about last year, 2023, Coach Pry said it in the presser. I think when we went to Rutgers last year, our identity was a little bit up in the air. I think that's true. That was one of those games I think we definitely would want back from 2023. We had a costly turnover in minus territory in the first quarter. Did they score on that play, or was that because I remember the Rutgers game and the Pittsburgh game, we had like an exchange issue, or I know Drones had some.
I remember because we got into the stadium. I believe we got into the stadium late where I was coming back from the bathroom. I was somewhere and then got to my seat and I was like, how do they have the ball? And what is this horn situation? So I think they did end up scoring. And that was the first time that I heard the horn. But what's interesting about that is our identity is still up in the air right now, sort of like it was against Pittsburgh last year. So, again, I'm hoping that we see something like that where it all comes together. So, if there's ever a week to do it, it's this one. So, hoping to get it hitting on all cylinders here.
Certainly is. That was tough. That was a tough game. I remember there was we did a drop touchdown like in the third quarter. We mounted a little bit of a comeback, and then they just pulled away. I mean, it was the two-headed monster between Gavin Wimsett and Kyle Monungai, who we'll talk about later, who is very dangerous with the football in his hands. They're calling him the Monungaisman.
Great name. Great nickname. Well done.
So, Rutgers football, 2-0, coming off a win against Howard and a win against Akron. They have not played any formidable competition yet. They just are coming off a bye, which also scares me a little bit. But a little bit more about Know the Foe. 49,000 folks in undergrad across multiple campuses, as I mentioned. A couple notable alums, Jim Valvano.
Legend.
Rutgers
Tip
alum.
the cap.
Elizabeth Warren is a law school grad from Rutgers.
She's got to be having a hard time with the Seminoles' struggles this year. It's been a rough year for Florida State.
Did you write this from the hills of Appalachia to the swamps of the Meadowlands?
No. Did Bill Roth get in our doc?
I was going to say, hills of Appalachia to the swamps of the Meadowlands, the swamps of Jersey, the birthplace of college football. Ray Rice, Brian Leonard, Mike Teal, Tim Brown, Kenny Britt.
The mosquitoes are as big. Oh, dude, get me fired up. Dude.
Yeah, wrecking ball. A lot of fun. Yeah. So 35-16 last year. They had the train horn. We had the sluggish start. It's very similar to how we started some games already this year.
Some awful numbers. Awful numbers from this game. Down 21-3 at halftime. I mean, this was like the Russ Mitchell classic where he's there. And like, I'm not only watching us lose, but also hearing my dad, like, just can't believe this. Can't believe it. It's like, well, believe it. We're literally here right now. So that's tough. Monangai went for 143, 3 touchdowns on just 16 carries. That's good for 8.9 yards per carry.
And that's what he's been doing consistently.
He's done that his whole career. Like he's been doing this. Gavin Wimsatt, this was a football game played in 2023. They threw for 46 total yards the entire game. But Wimsatt, even though he threw for 46, he ran for 87, had a rushing touchdown, 1 throwing touchdown on 11 carries. He had 7.9 yards per carry. And it's that age-old story of, you know what they're going to do. We know what they're going to do. They know what they're going to do. And we can't stop it. That was kind of the situation at Rutgers last year. We outgained Rutgers. We had 10 more minutes of possession, turned it over twice, couldn't stop the run. And that was, I don't know, Pat, was that the low? I don't think it was the low point of last season. But it was a pretty big bummer.
I mean, right after that, didn't we turn around and go to Marshall and lose at Marshall?
Okay, yeah. So the next week was definitely the low point. Yeah.
Like we were like, all right, like get right game.
Yeah.
In Huntington, 1-2.
Yeah. Car got broken into. Yeah.
And things did not go over well. Did have a good time at the Rutgers game though. We had like 400
unreal time.
400 folks with us. Great tailgate, great weather.
Yeah.
I left SHI Stadium and I said, I'm going to Manhattan. And I went to Manhattan and had an awesome time that night. And it was like, all right, the season's over, but at least we can have fun on a Saturday night. So what other Hokie history do we got? We talked about the 2012 Russell Athletic Bowl that had 20 combined punts and 23 combined points. 2003. I remember this 2003 game because I was there at Rutgers Stadium. Tech won 48-22. Kevin Jones had a huge game. Vegas Robinson had a big game on defense. Jimmy Williams had a big game. And then the 99 game, Michael Vick had 5 touchdowns in the first half. He was 11 of 12 for 248, which set a conference record. And right at the beginning of the game, Vic drops back and just throws an absolute sky bomb to Andre Davis. First play from scrimmage. 2 touchdowns for Andre that day. Another one for Ricky Hall, Chiron, and then Vic ran one in as well. He only played one half. He was that.
I got to shout out our guy, Andre Davis. I saw him on television on the sideline with the Texans. So shout out to him. I know he's back in the NFL working for Houston. So he was smiling on television. He was on television for like 3 seconds. course, he was smiling, smiley guy. But yeah, shout out to Andre.
I know this should have gone in a notable alumni. The band Looking Glass. You guys know the song Brandy?
She's a fine girl.
That song, Looking Glass, Rutgers group. Virginia Tech and Rutgers. Some storylines here for this game and just generally the programs. Both programs have lost a lot of in-state guys to competitive Big Ten schools and schools all over the country. I mean, Billy Ray right here played at Paramus Catholic. Once dynasty, Paramus Catholic.
We're coming back. We beat St. Peter's. We broke the curse. We're coming back.
There you go. We're still looking for that identity. We think we have found that identity, but this season we're still looking for that identity. And
can I ask a question? As a quasi-Rutgers fan, I mean, Chris Ash was an awful hire. Objectively speaking, just an awful hire. Coming off of the national championship at Ohio State, what did he win? I saw a screen grab of him today. I think they were playing Michigan and they were literally losing I'm not kidding. I think it was 70-0. I think that was an actual score. That was a rough tenure. That was a rough time for Rutgers football.
I know Chris Ash came after Kyle Flood.
He did. He followed Kyle Flood. Yep.
Because Kyle Flood was there for 4 years, and he was 9-4, 6-7, 8-5, and then 4-8. And then Chris Ash. Oh yeah, no, this was really really tough because this was like
8 wins in 3 seasons, dude.
I'm cringing looking at some of these seasons. 2-10, 4-8, 1-11.
Can you give me some scores? Like, what are some scores? I'm pretty sure they lost to Rutgers by literally 70 points.
I remember they lost to Michigan by like 100 points. Look at this. You pull up rushing and receiving. Leading rusher, Raheem Blackshear. He was the leading rusher and receiver.
Yeah.
King. Absolute king. He also had the most touchdowns from scrimmage on that team. If we want to actually look at the schedule and results from 2018, Chris Ash, man, they scored 13 points a game. That was 1/30th of 130.
Oh my God.
Wow. Okay, we'll run down this really quick game. So they did defeat Texas State in week 1. Texas State, all the way back from losing to 1-11 Rutgers.
I mean, hold on, Pat. Just do this. At Ohio State, 52-3. At Kansas, 55-14. Buffalo, 42-13. They lost to Buffalo at home, 42-13. Played Indiana, 24-17. They did lose. Illinois, 38-17. Maryland, 34-7. Northwestern, 15-18. Hard-fought game. Lost that one. That is tough. Anytime you think you're having a bad year, man, look at some of these Rutgers Chris Ash years. This is awful. Whew.
Which is why they dialed up Greg. They said, "Hey, yeah. Greg, listen,
we need you back. I want you back.
Need you back." Coach Schiano, since taking over in 2020, the COVID year, 3-6, 5-8, 4-8, 7-6 last year, and now 2-0. So on the incline.
I need to
How do you go 5-8 in 2021?
I need to find this Michigan score because it was so bad. I can't find it, but yeah, it was bad, man. They lost to Michigan State 7-40, 40-7, 2018. Anyway, we just gave you the rundown on Rutgers for 24 minutes.
The Rutgers.
Anything else that we have here? I mean, it was the battle of the kind words in the media availability today and yesterday. Coach Schiano and Coach Pry, they were almost having like a friendship off. Coach Schiano said Virginia Tech has 8 to 10 draft picks and probably 5 to 7 NFL free agents. He said, we also are probably the best receiving core they will face all year. He then also took a deep breath and said they're at least in the top 3. So he led with that and then backed it up a little bit. He said Jalen Lane is a 1 to 2 day, first or second day draft pick. Jennings, he recruited out of the portal, and corners are NFL players. Again, First road game for Rutgers. Rutgers is coming off of a bye. Coach Pry in his press conference. Lot of good guys on that Rutgers staff. Good friends. I've known Schiano for a while, recruiting battles. So,
you are not good at it.
So a lot of friendship, a lot of love between Pry and Schiano.
How could they not? They play a similar brand of football.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I have this as also, we haven't mentioned some other jersey ties. Terrell Smith.
Yes.
Long time Virginia Tech Hokie.
Mm-hmm.
Played on that offensive line for a long time. He was doing strength and conditioning stuff at Tech for a little bit, right?
He was.
Right.
Also, Virginia Tech Olympian Sammy Hill for women's basketball. Her sister, I know she played at Rutgers for a while. I don't know if she finished at Rutgers, but she did go to Rutgers. There's a tie-in. Raheem Blackshear, obviously. You have that tie-in as well. What else?
Tyrene Powell, who was a Virginia Tech commit and is an impact player on the Rutgers defense. 6'5", 252 linebacker. He's questionable. They're saying, hey, if him and Wesley Bailey are in the mix this week, they could give our front some trouble.
Yeah. Greg Toll is one of the best coaches in the history of New Jersey high school football. He was the head coach at Don Bosco Prep, won multiple national championships, did lose to me twice. But his son was a Toll who played fullback at Virginia Tech. That was actually one of the first understanding, knowing somebody kind of who went to Virginia Tech was Greg Toll's son. So I'm not kidding. It probably sounds like, high school. This guy's a legendary high school coach, coached at Don Bosco Prep, absolute legend. Son went to Virginia Tech. So that's a tie-in.
Used to love those Big East tie-ins.
Some other guys that I played against from some names that you might remember. I mean, Leonte Carew, he's from Don Bosco Prep. Justin Hamilton, Gary Nova, a lot of those guys. The pipeline from Don Bosco Prep to Rutgers was pretty prominent. So a lot of talented dudes. Razan Gross, another good player.
Our first Big Ten opponent of the year. Maybe a bowl game. We'll play a Big Ten opponent. We did play 2 Big Ten opponents last year. Didn't fare too hot.
No.
Hokies versus the Big Ten, historically, if we're going back to 2012. Michigan. You guys know how that one went in Sugar Bowl. Moving on. 2014 and 2015, Ohio State. 2014, go up to the shoe. 35-21. Sorry, Urban. Sorry, LeBron. Sorry, biggest crowd in Ohio State history. You lost. You just lost to Frank Beamer and Bud Foster and Kendall Fuller and Michael Brewer. 2015, they came back. They beat us on, was it Labor Day night, Labor Day weekend? Cool night, though. Orange Effect. I mean,
yeah.
Talk about
great helmets, dude.
You want to talk about a night that Virginia Tech just showed really well on television? other than the Braxton Miller with the ball in his hands plays?
We just went through another one of those algorithm farms where that was all over the timeline for 3 days, literally just this week.
Yeah, for every Enter Sandman orange carpet bouncing video from 2021, Virginia Tech and Enter Sandman beat COVID and beat Carolina in the same day. We get the Braxton Miller spin 3 weeks later, and they're maybe 1 week later. Really,
Braxton Miller was a problem
on this day 6 years ago. Spin move. I don't think we played. This was all off the dome, but I don't think we played a Big Ten opponent other than Purdue, which I'm getting to. Maryland in 2021 in the bowl game. Another game we don't have to talk about. We were supposed to play Penn State. We were supposed to play Wisconsin. We were supposed to play Michigan. Michigan just straight up said, we're scared.
Yeah, they did the Wake Forest. They said, we would prefer to play Hawaii. So I think that's who they replaced us with.
And I don't know who was coach when that happened. I think it was Coach Fuente.
I'm pretty sure. It was definitely Harbaugh at Michigan. But yeah, that was crazy and disappointing. It's so funny because Pat, when these schedules come out, they cancel the game And like, I remember my dad, I was going out to my grandparents' pool and he's like, Jim Harbaugh just canceled your series. I'm like, isn't that in like 2020, like 7? Like, I don't care. But here we are. I would have loved to have played them.
I think it was supposed to be in like 2019 or 2022 or something. And here we are in 2024, knocking on 2025's door. We're getting old today. It would have been funny too if Coach Fuente got in front of the mic in a press conference and did what Lane Kiffin did. I think that would have been hilarious, but it would not have been covered the way it was covered for Lane Kiffin. Obviously.
Can you imagine like the two pressers from like talk about two guys who were totally different behind a microphone in Jim Harbaugh and Justin Fuente? Like, can you imagine that week of media? It would have been fun. Anyway,
Purdue, we went up there and just destroyed them.
I say this all the time. One of the most random Virginia Tech, like just, I mean, we waterboarded Purdue. Like we were having like an okay season and Brendan Motley was just like, hey, I'm here to throw touchdowns all afternoon. That was unbelievable. Pretty that was one of Josh Nijman's first starts too, if I remember correctly.
Pretty bummed about Wisconsin bumping back that series. Penn State obviously canceled from COVID. Military Appreciation Day is Saturday to complement the White Effect. Do you think there's a flyover to complement the military appreciation? Wait, is it, or was the Marshall game military appreciation?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a flyover again. I don't think I received a ton of backlash for it because I think it's true. We didn't get a true flyover. We got like a wave, couple times passover. But I'm interested to see what happens.
It's you describing the plane as a pregnant plane.
Dude, that thing's huge. It does look like a pregnant plane.
It did have a big belly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it has a name too. I think it's named like Betty. Like I'm pretty sure when TSL was tweeting about it, they were like, famous Betty flew over Blacksburg. It's like, if you have a name, you're a big plane, dude. You got to be a big plane. Nobody names small planes ever.
So true.
I know.
You want to talk about the football game?
Yeah, let's finally do that.
Let's talk about some notables today that came out. Kelly Lawson is questionable.
Who got hurt at the end of the game? Who got hurt when we should have twos in? I'm upset. I'm upset because Kelly Lawson is hurt at the end of a game in a game I wish he wasn't playing in, and Xavier Chaplin is hurt because he got hurt in warmups. A little upset. Nothing we can do about it, but that's just where we are. Chaplin
questionable. I don't know if this is gamesmanship or what, or Tootin is questionable.
Tootin's playing. Tootin's got to play. Yeah.
The answer to the question is yes, he's playing. Or yes, we need him.
Yeah.
Ollie Jennings questionable. Did he get banged up at the end too, or was it?
I didn't see him get banged up. I think. Look, we went through camp. We were really lucky. I don't think we really had any issues through camp. This is something that happens. You get bit by the injury bug. I don't know if it's gamesmanship. I can tell you that Will Johnson is hurt. I can tell you that Jalen Strollman is also hurt. I'm curious to know what the plan is with Nick Gallo. I don't know what that is. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to find out until game time. So if I had to guess, Kelly Lawson, Ollie Jennings, Bajal Tootin, and Xavier Chaplin are probably all in blue all week. So we won't find out until the game. And when I say they're in blue, for those who don't know what that means, during practice, if you're limited, at least during my time, I assume it's the same now because the tweets and the information still goes out this way. If you're in blue, it means that you're limited. So you're probably not full contact or half contact. You're probably touch up or almost doing not a walkthrough, but you're doing like a jog through. But you're not going to the ground, getting tackled or anything like that. So I would assume they're all in blue this week.
Jalen Stroman is out. Will Johnson is out. You guys knew that. George Balance and Brody Meadows are, quote, banged up, but they're not listed as questionable.
Yeah.
In the injury report. Depth chart updates. Caleb Woodson is now listed as the starter at will linebacker. Now, Kelly Lawson being questionable, a lot of that has to do with that, I would presume. But Caleb Woodson is a guy who's big, he's athletic, he looks the part.
Yeah.
He's smart, plays with instincts. Excited to see him get more snaps on Saturday. Laith Ganem or Bob Schick are listed as left guard. Kelvin Gilliam or Fuga are listed at one of the DT spots. I think everything else was consistent with the previous week from the depth chart. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights come into this game 2-0. Their first Big Ten game is not this week, obviously, with Virginia Tech. It is next week. They have Washington at home on Friday night of next week, which is big Friday night.
A conference game. As ridiculous as that is.
Big Friday night Friday versus the Washington Huskies. So it should be interesting to see, I'm not calling this a letdown spot for Rutgers. I think they know Virginia Tech is a hostile environment. This is a team that we have some upside. I think they're looking at our loss to Vanderbilt and thinking that they can have their way with us. I listened to a few Rutgers podcasts earlier this week. And I read the board. And everyone on the board is picking Rutgers to win by a score or two. So
I got to tell you what, if we were playing Rutgers and they lost to Vanderbilt, I'd probably be doing the same thing. So more power to them.
Thankfully, we do have the home field advantage this week, but their quarterback, his name is Ethan Kaliakmanis. I would presume that sounds like a Greek name. He is a transfer from the Minnesota Golden Gophers, so inter-conference transfer. This year, he is 29 of 47, which is good for 61%, 377 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick. His statistics versus Howard and Akron, completed 14 and 15 passes, very consistent, 3 touchdowns in each game. Didn't throw the ball that much. You have a running back like Kyle Monungai, who we'll talk about. You're not going to get the sample size you want from an Akron or an Howard, and then followed by a. It's pretty much like playing 2 scrimmages.
I was talking to Casey, our Ohio State buddy, and he was like, "Come on, man, does this quarterback scare you?" I'm like, "Dude, I got to be honest. Quarterbacks that don't scare us, when I say that, usually come out and then play Johnny Unitas. So he doesn't seem like a dual threat quarterback. He doesn't seem like a single threat quarterback. But that is what we're going into the game. Let's see who shows up on Saturday. But I do think that there's an opportunity here. It's the Kyle Monungai show. We can talk about the wide receivers. We could talk about the offensive line. We can talk about everything else. 2 things that I know about a Greg Schiano football team. They're going to be well coached, and they're going to be great up front. Those are 2 constants that are absolutely true. And they have a elite running back on this football team. That is not conjecture. That is not, Virginia Tech's playing him. He is a great back. I think right now, in terms of yards per carry, he's 3rd in America. Ton of carries, really effective, great vision. Runs honestly a lot like Tootin does. But he's one of the best backs in the country. He was last year. He is this year. It is the Kyle Monungai show, and Virginia Tech has to figure out a way to get it done. And what makes me fearful, we're still trying to figure out the linebacker position. I think the defensive line played the best game that they played all year last year. We are going to have this figured out. There can't be miscommunications on keeping the edge. There has to be good gap integrity. It is the Kyle Monungai show. We know the recipe. That is what Rutgers is going to come in. If you've gone and you've watched some Arizona State games, if you're prepping for Arizona State, you're putting the name Scattaboo on the board and you're circling it in red marker. That is what we should be doing with Kyle Monangai coming in this week. Sorry, I know I just went on a soliloquy there. He's the guy. He's the guy on NCAA 14 who has the chalk star. He's him. It's who we have to stop. I told you guys.
Kyle Monangaisman. Okay. He could be the best running back in college football.
That's not conjecture. That is a fact.
We're going to hear that name 30 times on Saturday. And I wish it was Bill McChain. Kyle Monangai up the middle.
I'm trying to pull up the statistic here on where he is. So, Battle of the Garden State running backs on Saturday. Kyle Monangai is from Roseland, New Jersey. He's averaging 8.1 yards per carry, which is ludicrous. He's averaging almost a first down per carry. That's fourth in America. 373 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. And then Bashal Tutin from Paulsboro, New Jersey, 5.17 yards per carry, which is 13th in the country. Nothing to sneeze at. 269 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. So again, Kyle Monangai, got to find a way to stop him. If you stop him, you win the football game. That's right. It.
His numbers last year in 13 games, 242 carries, 1,262 yards, 5.2 yards per carries, 8 touchdowns, only 8 receptions out of the backfield for 78 yards, no scores. Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Wide receivers on this team. Listen, I mean, they're going to run the ball probably 60% of the time, maybe 66% of the time, as they should. We need to stack the box.
Yeah.
The box must be stacked.
And this is what Coach Schiano was referring to at his press conference. He says, look, they have 2 NFL cornerbacks, and that gives them a ton of flexibility in what they can do. Monsoor Lane and our guy Dorian Strong. We're probably going to have you in man a lot in this football game because we're going to have to bring the star down. We're going to have to bring the safety down. We're going to have to stack the box. We have the talent to do this. Like, I'm looking at this game, and really what it comes down to me is I genuinely think we are more talented than Rutgers. I do. I think we have better skill players. I think we have a better quarterback. I think running back is a wash or a slight lean to Rutgers. And we haven't played a complete game yet. We have not. I said on the last podcast, we're outscored 31-6 in the second quarter. It's been kind of our Achilles heel. I think if we come out and we play a complete game in all phases of the football game, we're going to beat Rutgers. The dialogue around this game up until about like 24 hours ago, I'm not really sure how it got to this point, is like Rutgers is going to come in here and kick us in the teeth. And I think that almost comes down to like the amount of respect that people have for Coach Schiano and just how worried we kind of are about finding our identity. But from like a talent perspective, we're playing at home. You got a reason to be fired up. And you have a chance to right the wrongs of week 1, just 3 weeks later. You have the trifecta of we beat Marshall, who beat us a year ago. We beat Old Dominion, who we haven't won at their stadium yet. And we beat a Big Ten opponent who beat us last year. And we win an out-of-conference Power 4 game for the first time since 2017. I mean, what a beautiful opportunity September is presenting us. Oh, by the way, we also get to go play at Miami in a week. But let's worry about that after this. Handle your business. I think we're better than them. Just handle your business. Rutgers is a good coach team that can run the football. We know the blueprint. That's it. I'm getting fired up, Pat. Like I can't believe it's only Tuesday, but it's all right there. Everything is better if you win this game on Saturday. Everybody's kind of right back to where we were right before the Vanderbilt game.
I'm excited for this football game.
I think
it's going to be a great football game.
So fired up.
Who is Ethan going to throw the ball to, Billy Ray? Dymere Miller, wide receiver, leading receiver, 8 receptions, 114 yards, 1 touchdown. 5'11", 184. Chris Long, who's a senior out of Willingboro, New Jersey, 5 receptions, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. And then their big target in the red zone, Kenny Fletcher, tight end from Delran, 6'3", 246. He's a junior, 5 catches, 40 yards, 2 touchdowns. A lot of jersey on this roster, by the way. Did I tell you?
How much?
I know I tweeted this earlier, and this isn't the 85-man roster. This is everyone. So this is non-scholarship players. This is everyone, whole kit and caboodle. 62 Rutgers football players from the state of New Jersey on this team.
It's over half the roster.
I counted this morning.
Yeah. It's a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
Defense
wins championships.
It does. I'll just say this. It's what I just said. Gonna have to stack the box. Gonna be a ton of one-on-one opportunities for Mansour Delane and Dorian Strong. I think they can live up to it. Linebacker play will have to be the best that it's been all year. Defensive line play will have to be the best that it's been all year. APR played his best game last week. I think Peebles got a little gumption in himself. We heard Fuga on the dais talking about how everybody's feeling. This is, if you love football and you love physicality and you love like front seven play, this is a football game for you. That is what this is. And, a lot of people are kind of circling the offensive line and saying, hey, guys, it's time to be a little bit better. You either have an opportunity to be better or you have an opportunity to get exposed. That is what this weekend is. So, man, what an opportunity. Stack the box, stop the running back. If they beat us passing the ball, more power to you, Kyle, whatever his name is. I don't even know what his name is. Kid from Minnesota. But
they have so their leading tackler is Dario Giboni, 6'2", 240 linebacker. And then I said this earlier. They got a guy, Aaron Lewis, on the DL. He's an edge rusher. They have a guy named Wesley Bailey, who's an edge rusher, 6'5", 265. Not sure his status. I know he's been questionable. I know he had a good camp. And then, as we mentioned before, Tyreen Powell. If he is eligible to play, if he can go on Saturday, is probably going to be the guy that they have spy on Kyron Drones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that we're implementing that into the game plan, but without knowing Powell's status, and Powell's a guy that predates Pry. So, there's I don't think there's any relationship there as far as, who recruited Powell to Virginia Tech. But I do know that he is going to be the impact player from this front seven and will definitely be key on containing Kyron Drones if Drones decides to tuck it and run. What do you have on special teams?
Jalen Lane has been absolutely phenomenal on punt return. He's averaging 29 yards per punt return. And I actually had an observation today. You go into IKEA, you go into Bed Bath & Beyond, you go into some of these stores, and they have that sign. It says live, laugh, love. Well, our special teams, you know what they have? Lane, low, love. Lane, low, love. Print the shirts, print the signs, make the presidential yard signs. Lane, low, love on special teams. Special teams have been underrated. If you just line up correctly and don't wear the same number, I have no complaints on special teams. Been great. Other than a really good scheme by Marshall on blocking a kick. So that's a special teams preview. Should we turn the page to Keys?
I was going to say, when did you think of that? When did you put that together? Lane, low, love.
I don't. So the way that I got there was I was looking at the names and we had JL, KL, JL. And I was like, Jalil, Khalil, Jalil. And then I was like, that's just dumb. And then I was like, well, let's look at the last names. And it was Lane, Love, Low. And then I was like, what about Lane, Low, Love? And then it's like live, laugh, love. So we have that on special teams. I'm kind of fired up about it.
Yeah, no, well done.
Mm-hmm.
NIL store is calling, I'm sure. Rutgers kicker, his name is Jay Patel. 12 of 12 on extra points so far this year. He's only had one field goal, and it was between the 30 and 39. Last year, 2020.
Can I say something, Pat, real quick? I don't want people to think we're mailing it in. When you only have 3 games of data, it's very difficult to give you a real picture. This Jay Patel guy, he could be Sebastian Janikowski, or he could be the worst kicker ever. We only have 3 games of stats.
We have 2 games of stats.
2 games of stats. So, until we get to like mid-October, relying on this year's stats, kind of a crapshoot. Yeah. So we could get on here and we could pretend and say, hey, I'm watching his form. His gait's kind of wide. The way he runs out there is kind of weird. I have no idea. He's kicked in 2 games. He's only kicked 2 field goals. He's 1 of 2. TBD.
Every Rutgers kicker wants to have their Jeremy Ito moment.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't? I want my Jeremy Ito moment.
Me too. Keys to the game. Offensively, Virginia Tech, if Virginia Tech wants to win this game, need to set the tone early. I think a lot of that has to do with, one, well, let me back up here. How about we play 4 quarters of football?
Yep.
How about we play a full, consistent 4 quarters of football? Did you already give those stats on the third quarter? And how bad?
31 to 3 in the second quarter. It's bad. 31 to 3 in the second quarter. What would it look like if we just put 4 quarters together in 4 phases? Like, Pat, I don't want to step on your lead here. What would we look like if we just put together 4 quarters? With all this talent, all this seniority, all of this leadership that we have on this team, all of the moments that we've shown on offense when we're clicking, on defense when we're clicking, on special teams when we're clicking, this team has so much talent. And that's a little bit of what's different from the last couple of years is there have been so many football games that we've lost because we haven't kept up with the talent level. What if we just put 4 quarters of football together? If we do that on Saturday at 3:30 at Lane Stadium in a whiteout against Rutgers, win a Power 5, Power 4 game, I'm going to be so fired up. Find a way to do it. That's the key to the game. Offense, you know what? You've yet to play up your potential. You had 465 yards last week. Special teams, literally just wear the right number, line up correctly. John Love, Kyle Lowe, Jalen Lane will handle literally everything else. Live, laugh, love, Lane, low, love. And then defense, you've had 2 great games in a row. Just keep doing that. That's all we need you to do. We can win this game and right all the wrongs of the past. Those are my keys to the game. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We can right all the wrongs.
A lot on the line to make good. We are awful in the red zone right now.
Yeah.
Really, really poor. 13 appearances in the red zone in 3 games. 6 touchdowns. Yikes. Got a lot of weapons on this team. Got a lot of talent on this team. 6 touchdowns in 13 appearances. 5 field goals. So 2 of those times we came away with no points. And then less than 50% of the time we're punching it in the end zone. That's good for 69th. I should say bad for 69th overall. Tied with New Mexico. Shape up the red zone performance. Shape up the 4 quarters of football. Run the ball. And let's see some vertical passing. Defensively, Billy Ray, we know what we need to do. We've talked about it ad nauseum. Stop Kyle Monungai. Mose Phillips is our leading tackler right now. What does that mean about our defense so far if our safety is leading the team in tackles?
It means that we're getting to that the offense is getting to the second level. It means they're getting past the D-line. It means they're getting past the linebackers. And it means the safety has to make tackle. That's what it means.
We don't like when the safety has to make the tackle.
No.
Especially when it's Kyle Monungai, because he's going to put us in that position all day on Saturday. He cannot Monungain any yards. If he Manung gains a lot of yards, he's going to win the Manung Geisman Trophy. Okay. What else do we have here? Do we have any other things we want to talk about before we bring in our special guests?
We have our special guest coming in. Bayonne PD in the house, here to talk about the Virginia Tech game. He's drinking a Miller Lite. I'm drinking scarlet red wine, getting ready for this game.
Scarlet red wine. Look at that.
You like that? You like that? So, Willie, first and foremost, welcome. For those of you that don't know, Willie Krajnik, great friend from high school. I actually met him at Beach Week when I was graduating from Paramus Catholic. And since I went to Virginia Tech, he has latched on to the Virginia Tech community. And I got to be honest, Willie, it's been a rough ride. It's been a rough ride up until last year. His history, Pitt 2021, where we lost 27-8. We had the Fire Fuente chants at that game. It's a tough scene. We also had the Pinstripe Bowl in 2021 versus Maryland, where we did lose 54-10. Tough scene.
We were in New York, though, having a blast. That's all that matters.
It was a tough scene. Vaccine cards to get in the stadium. I mean, it was nuts. It was a crazy time. And then we also had the 2020. I lost them. We had the 2022 West Virginia game, which we also lost 22-10. Tough scene. I got a hilarious video of you in the back of a pickup truck. I got to send you. And then 2023, you finally get your first win against Pittsburgh in the whiteout.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like walking out of Lane Stadium with a dub, baby.
Can I just get real quick before we get into this football game? Because you're not like an honorary fan, you're a full-blown fan. Like, you were texting me during the Vanderbilt game, you watch every game, like, you're in. But having no familiarity with Virginia Tech up until 2021, how has your time been in Blacksburg for the games that you have gone to, and what are you looking forward to? Because you're going to be in town for this game. This is your game of the year. You're coming. So what are you looking forward to? What have been your favorite things of the past?
I got to say, the first year it was the party and the bars and everything. But the best part about it is waking up game day morning, getting the coffee, and walking campus.
Oh, yeah.
There's like the butterflies, everything. I feel like I'm getting ready to go out. And it's like morning of when we used to play football. Get ready going out there. And just that nice crisp air, walking through campus, enjoying the coffee, getting ready to go to battle, even though I'm just going to stand there and do nothing, That's definitely been the go-to. Like, that's what I'm most excited for when I get down there.
So, Pat, we haven't done the game day campus walk this year, which, like, we had Hannah and Casey in town last week, and we said, you know what, kind of disappointed we didn't do the campus walk. So with the 3:30, we have to do it. With the 3:30, we got to do it. So we'll definitely go to Mill Mountain or go somewhere, pick up some coffee. It'll be a good time. Any other notes? I know you had your first Tots rail last year, which was huge.
Oh, loved it, man. Got to get that right. We go to Tots, Sharkies. I want to do it all. But the best part, even though the party is going to be outstanding, great, that walk for me, especially now that we're getting a little older, the walk is nice.
It's getting a little old. I'm not gonna put you in a walker. I mean, we'll be okay. I mean, Pat, what we got to do for our boy Willie is we got to get him to the cellar. I don't think he's done the cellar yet. So
wasn't I there last year? We were when I first got there after that 9.5 hour drive. Out there, went to the house.
You were there, but you were tired. I mean,
exhausted. But we were in the corner. I remember. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you've done the cellar. I'm not sure what you need to do. I mean, you've hit pretty much all the notes, but
I got one.
Hit my cap.
I got one.
Go for it.
We got to take Willie to Souvlaki.
We have to take Willie to Souvlaki, and we also have to take Willie to. I don't know if we'll make it on this trip, but Elrod's would probably be a good stop too. We haven't taken him to Elrod's for a margarita, so. Willie, honorary. We give out honorary diplomas. I don't remember if I gave you one for the Rutgers preview last year, and Matt Rivera.
I'm going to hang that up on my wall.
Okay, we're going to get one printed out and framed for you. So, Pat, we have a Section 5 announcement. Can you get that before we jump into our score predictions and other tomfoolery here?
Yeah, I'm excited about this because we get to solicit a little bit of feedback from the folks who are listening or the folks who are in the community. And, we got the Section 5 Club. We launched it a few weeks ago. We got some members on board. We sent out the membership survey, and we did receive a critique. I'll call it a constructive criticism on, hey, what could we do better? And it was, listen, guys, get your pod out on Monday. Games on Saturday, get the whole 24 hours, record it on Sunday. I want to listen to it in my ride to work on Monday morning. And I think we haven't been very good about that. Sons of accountability. It's been a long time since we've been in a consistent rhythm, getting that pod out Sunday night, Monday morning, ready to go for that Monday morning commute. So this is our commitment for this game and hopefully for more games this year that we will be recording on Sunday night and getting that going.
We're going to try.
The Monday morning.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say, if you're listening, still haven't joined Section 5 Club, $5.55 a month. We did just give away our Clemson tickets. We have a lot more Clemson tickets to give away, by the way. But we did give away some Clemson tickets to Brent Holmes. Congratulations, Brent, one of the first wave members of the Section 5 Club. So, if you're listening, you're thinking of joining and you're on the fence, consider this your sign. Maybe Clemson tickets are going to be coming your way. And I wanted to read something because we asked some of our Section 5 Club members in that survey, what is your favorite Virginia Tech memory? Whether it's athletics affiliated or non-athletics affiliated. And we got some really, really cool responses. So I want to read one of them to you guys that got me fired up. Commissioning into the U.S. Army at the pylons the day after I graduated. Having my dad, who also served for 29 years, swear me in was truly one of the most special moments of my time at Virginia Tech. And there's a lot of comments here that are very similar to their favorite Virginia Tech memories and tugging at the heartstrings, and really just, it was cool to read so many of these submissions. So thank you guys. We're going to read some of these all season long, and appreciate your patronage of the Section 5 Club. Check it out on the Sons of Saturday website or on our socials. Is it time? You are muted.
You're muted, buddy.
I'm muted. What a rookie mistake. It's time. So we're going to do score predictions, then we're going to jump into some of our New Jersey tomfoolery. So, Willie, you sat out for all of the nitty-gritty, and I know that you're going to give the TLDR version of the game preview. So as you're thinking about this game, Virginia Tech's playing Rutgers, I want to hear about what you're thinking about. We're going to shut up. Give us your preview. Can be as long, as short as you want, and your score prediction.
All right, so score prediction at the end. I think Rutgers has played nobody, so that's why their numbers are good, obviously. I think their numbers are right. They're saying that they have all these yards, all this and that. I don't even want to look into it. Who do they play? Nobody. Poor Hokies got to go down to Vanderbilt, play in an SEC environment, in a dogfight, right? And then, of course, Vanderbilt has to, play the game of their life, their homecoming, against us opening weekend. But other than that, that's all I have to say really about Rutgers. They played nobody.
Yeah.
So they're going to come down to Blacksburg. We're going to be rocking in Lane Stadium. I don't think they're going to see an atmosphere like that all year. I know I'm going to be screaming a lot of profanity.
I'm sure you are. I'm going to have to tell you to calm it down.
Yeah, I'll be respectful.
Sure.
Maybe. No, I'll be okay. But I'm going to say it's going to be 24 Hokies, and generous going to say 17 for Rutgers because they've been doing pretty decent with their offense. But yet again, they played nobody.
I'd be so fired up to win this game 24-17. So, couple notes on this game. I received a ton of texts when this spread originally came out. Virginia Tech was 4.5-point favorites. The over-under was sitting at 45.5 points, but everybody was like, This line came out and everyone was like, what? You're favored by 4.5 points? And you know what? I think the people who are doubting us the most are ourselves. I think we're getting ourselves totally psyched out, totally forgetting how talented our team is, totally forgetting how talented our quarterback is. The line is down to 3.5. And you guys know me. You've been listening for a while. I'm not going to just pick us to lose. I can't. It is not in my nature to do it. I'm going to go 31-28. Virginia Tech wins this football game. I think it's going to be ground and pound. I think that it's going to be back and forth. I think ultimately we're a more talented football team, and if we show up to play, we can win the football game. That's what I got. Patrick.
It's going to be a tough game, fellas. It's going to be a great football game. Rutgers, 11-6, coming off a bye. 6-2, 11-6, coming off a bye. Has won 9 consecutive non-conference football games and 13 of the last 14.
Wow.
Get out of here. They haven't played at Lane Stadium. Get out of here. Take those stats. Get out of here.
Rutgers has not allowed a sack yet this season. Rutgers has the 4th rated rushing offense, 5th rated red zone defense, and is 6th in third down conversion percentage and 9th in scoring offense on the year. They got a lot of top 10 stats, but like Willie Krajnik said,
you can't take those stats.
Haven't played the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Haven't played the Big Ten schedule yet.
I mean, they played Howard.
What's the over-under on this? 46.5?
Over-under opened up at 46 or 45.5. I'm pulling it up right now to see what it was. But just to reiterate, Pat, if you and I were lining up to block against Howard, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't give up a sack either. That's no disrespect. That's just facts. So here we go. I'm pulling up our over-under here. We play at 3:30.
I think it's 46.5 as of 8 hours ago. Rutgers versus
Yep.
Virginia Tech.
Yep.
So I'm going to take Tech by a field goal, 27-24. I think Rutgers is going to score a lot of points with that rushing offense. It's going to come down to Virginia Tech taking care of the football, defense, time of possession, special teams, and just field position, generally speaking, like playing disciplined football. Because if Rutgers if they run Monungai could go for 180.
Yeah.
If they give him the ball 35 times, and we're just going to have to make sure that when we have the football, we're taking advantages of our possessions that we have with the football. 27-24 Tech.
That puts an end to our coverage of the Virginia Tech Rutgers game.
No, it doesn't, because we didn't do Grant Watson over-unders brought to you by Benny's, bro.
That's right. You're right. You're totally right.
We're all over the place tonight on this pod. It's okay, though. We got a lot to talk about.
The game day pins are early. They're available at Benny's.
They're on time. They're on time.
They're on time. You're right. We were late last week. The pins are available at Counts Family Pharmacy. Go get yours today. If you show up to Benny's with the pin on game day, that may change. I'm just telling you what it is right now. If you show up with the pin on game day, you will get $1 off your slice. You're also going to look sick having the pin on. So go ahead and pick yours up. These are Grant Watson's over-unders. We're all going to answer them. Kyron Drone's total touchdowns. This includes rushing. This includes throwing. 2.5. I'm going to go under only because I think we're going to get a heavy dose of Bashal Tutin and hopefully Malachi Thomas. So I will go under 2.5 touchdowns. Willie Cranick. Total touchdowns from Kyron Drones, 2.5.
I'm a quarterback guy. I'm going to go over.
Figured. Pat Finn.
Under. Are you feeling that the Malachi Thomas touchdown pass again?
I am feeling the Malachi Thomas touchdown pass. I think whether I agree with this or not, I do think that there is a component or several components of the Virginia Tech offense we have not seen that has been saved for this week. So you come out, you lose to Vanderbilt. You weren't expecting to lose to Vanderbilt. You're probably not going to show a lot against Marshall and Old Dominion. Here we are at Rutgers, hoping to see a new twist to our offense. Hokies turnovers forced, 0.5. If we're going to win the game, we need to turn Rutgers over. So I'm going to go over. Hoping that Virginia Tech can force Rutgers to either throw an interception. I'm not sure if Rutgers is going to put themselves in a position where their quarterback will be throwing the ball down the field to throw an interception. But maybe we can cause a fumble. Not sure. Need to cause a turnover, I think, in order to win this football game. Need to win the turnover battle. So I will go over. Willie.
I'm going to go over too. I'm hoping a nice pick 6 to the house, and I'm going to take my shirt off and go nuts.
Okay. I'm holding you to that.
Yeah. As long as they don't throw me out, I think I should. I can't get thrown out, but maybe just a quick and I'll put it on. I can't, it depends on if it's in the fourth quarter and it's for to seal the victory. Yeah, I'll take it off. Gone.
If we do a pick 6, Willie, I'll take my shirt off with you.
Yep. As long as it's in the fourth, and then that's it. If it's in the first, I can't get thrown out.
Okay.
We'll do a what is it? A jersey trade?
Yeah, jersey trade. That's not going to work out well for me.
Over. Playing at home, Virginia Tech forces turnovers at home. I can't believe we've only played one home game so far.
I know. Kyle Monungai, 99.5 rushing yards. I mean, it's got to be over. He's going to get 30 carries. He's one of the best backs in the country. I'll go over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over too.
Okay. Surprising.
I would be very surprised if Monungai doesn't have 100 yards on Saturday.
If he doesn't have 100 yards, I expect us to win the game. Just say if he's under 99.5 yards and somehow we find a way to lose the game, I will be upset. Okay, moving on. This is just random assorted New Jersey stuff. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. Willie's here. Why not? So I want to ask the group. I got a call on Friday night from Trent Young, Richmond, Virginia. He was at some rooftop having a good time. And he asked me, he said, "Hey, Bill, I'm with 3 different people from the Northeast, and they all have different definitions of what the tri-state area is. So my question," and Pat, we'll start with you. When somebody says tri-state area, what is included in that? I'm not asking for what's right, what's wrong. To you, what is the tri-state area?
New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Willie?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I know it's tri, but I'm going to go with New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and PA. That's all in my mind right there.
Yeah. I have pieces of Pennsylvania in there, but here's what I can tell you is the constant. No disrespect. Long Island, you may as well not exist. I looked it up, and there was a lot of Long Island chatter. Long Island was never in my brain. Honestly, Connecticut only recently got into my brain because I started making a lot of trips up to Massachusetts. I didn't really even consider Connecticut. It was more, to be completely honest, Pat, it was New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania. That's what I considered the tri-state until I started making that trip up to, Northern Attitude area. So that was kind of the way that I viewed it.
Well, you understand that tri-state is completely in reference to the metropolitan area. It's not in if New Jersey's tri-state area was New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania, that makes sense. But New Jersey does not have a metropolitan city in New Jersey where you would call it the Camden or Trenton tri-state area. The New York City tri-state area is New York because it's in the middle, Connecticut on the right, New Jersey on the left.
Right.
Philadelphia tri-state area is Pennsylvania, it's New Jersey, and then it's Delaware because Delaware services that that southeastern part of PA.
First of all, not saying I'm right, just saying how I viewed it, which is usually wrong. Second of all, Delaware can totally take a hike. Delaware, nobody no disrespect to anybody from Delaware, but Delaware, nobody's thinking about you at all. At all. I don't know anything about Delaware.
The way we think of the tri-state area is sports bar, wise, our background of high school and everything. That's how we look at it. We don't actually look at it the way that Pat's explaining it. We just think about sports.
Exactly. Like Delaware. What do I know about Delaware? Joe Biden is from there, and a lot of people open their business there because it makes sense from a tax perspective. That's all I know about Delaware.
They have nice beaches. You got to spend some time at their beaches.
Yeah, they have nice beaches. And Dave Huffman is from there. That's all I know about Delaware.
And Pete B.
And it's Pete B from Delaware? I thought it was from like,
dude, come on.
Okay, well, shout out Pete B. Shout out to Pete B.
You know who's not going to be happy listening to this? I can't wait to see the chat roll up tomorrow. Billy, what the heck, man?
Okay, next question. I want to go with culture shockers. So, Willie, I don't know if this will be easy for you, but I'm just going to name a couple of things that when I left New Jersey and went to Virginia Tech that I realized were like unique to New Jersey. Number one, kissing on the cheek when saying hello and goodbye. I don't know how this will be received on this forum, but Willie, I need you to start nodding so I don't look crazy. But if you go over to a friend's house, it's not like, goodbye, Mrs. Sanders. Goodbye, Mrs. McMillan. Goodbye, Mrs. Rivera. It's okay, goodbye. And you give them a kiss on the cheek, right? So
I didn't need that visual of you just like doing that to the camera, just so we're clear. I know what a kiss is.
Yeah, I know, but some people watching may not. So, that was a little bit of an adjustment for me because when we moved in at Virginia Tech, you're meeting a bunch of parents, you're meeting a bunch of like people or whatever. And the parents are starting to goodbye, and you hit them with the Joe Pesci. You hit them with the goodbye kiss, and then we're like, whoa, what? You're like, I thought this was normal. I thought this was normal. My bad. But did you ever notice that, Willie, when you go to other states and you do that? It's almost like, I don't want to say it's like back to the good old days, but it's super respectful. It's also super Italian.
It is. It's just like what we do. It's like not even a hesitation. Like, Ponterero, right? You play football in high school. It's automatic when we even see each other. Yep. The dap up, you go in. It's just, even with my dad, I do it, grandparents, everything. It's just how we were raised and what we do when we say hello and goodbye. It's just the Italian Jersey way, I would say.
Certainly. Number two, 15 minutes to do literally anything. I think this is actually a problem now that I've moved out of New Jersey. Is I will say if I'm going to a store or grabbing something to eat or going to get gas, in my brain, I automatically think that it's going to take 10 or 15 minutes automatically. It's just not like that anywhere else in the country. Like, it's just not. Food after 10 o'clock, filling up your gas tank, like, it's not as convenient and easy as New Jersey. My last one is just the speed that people do stuff. I remember when I showed up to Virginia Tech, people walked a little slower. People didn't walk with a purpose. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sense of urgency. Let's go. Move it or lose it. That's it.
Exactly. So those are my biggest three culture shocks. Willie, as a person who still lives in New Jersey and then takes the trip down to Virginia, what are your biggest observations on the cultural difference between Virginia and New Jersey?
Well, the whole ride in Jersey, I'm just trying to rush to get out. So you could say the whole travel, everyone's going crazy on the turnpike and everything south. Then once you start, get more southern, everyone's nicer. People are actually driving somewhat normal. Nobody's in that rush to go absolutely nowhere. My dad always says it. Everybody here is in a rush to go absolutely nowhere, right? Yeah. What's the point of getting there 2 seconds earlier when you're still going to wait in line when you go to that convenience store or there's somebody at that gas station, at that pump? And we're always like, I just got to go. I got to go. And that's it. It's the fight. And it's basically the highway of drivers afraid of coming in last anywhere around here. And then once you get down in Virginia and especially in Blacksburg, I'm not rushing to where I have to go. I'm enjoying where I'm going. That's the other thing why I'm saying this walk now when I get to campus, it's peaceful. If we came up here to watch the game, I'm walking around campus. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. What bar? Hurry up. Let's get to the bar. And then it's like, I'm not waiting in this line. Let's go. Let's try to get in another bar, whatever. When you get down there in Blacksburg, there's no rush. Wherever you guys need me to go, I walk with you guys. I don't care. No matter how long it takes. It's just everything down there is just completely different. And it's like a getaway for me. That's why this weekend it's so amazing and important to me when I write it down in the calendar. It's not only going to watch some good football, but to the pace down there.
Yeah.
So peaceful, and I get to get away from all the crazy stuff up here in Jersey.
Willie, we got to start making this like a 1 week trip. Or honestly, we need to move you below the Mason-Dixon line. But we could talk about it another time.
I had a little bit more money. I go more than once a year. Filling up the Silverado kills me the whole ride.
I know. It wouldn't kill you if you were filling it up at Love's. But, I mean, the Exxon in Jersey will get after you. Couple tweets that stuck out to me. I actually thought this was a great tweet. So, Sora Kinkle tweeted out, I respect that Virginia is for lovers, but we need a state for haters. And NJ Gov, which, by the way, is an awesome follow. I'm just here to tell you it's a really good follow. Quoted it and said, you called. New Jersey might be the state for haters. They call it the Garden State. I didn't see a whole lot of gardens growing up. So I'm just going to go ahead and veto that and say, hey, Virginia Tech versus Rutgers, the state for lovers and the state for haters, they're battling it out in Lane Stadium at 3:30 in Blacksburg, Virginia. Be there, be square.
I like that. The state.
So homework assignment. I assigned this for everybody. We're going to play a game. It's called Buy or Sell. It's things that are unique to New Jersey, unique to the Garden State, and we're all going to say buy or sell. I will go first with my submissions. If you don't have them, it's also okay. We're not going to freak out if you didn't do your homework. But number one,
my homework, always.
Pumping your own gas, buy or sell. I will go first. I'm going to go sell. There's nothing worse. Willie, I can remember multiple times leaving Dan's house, leaving Pont's house, because you guys are far away. And to be honest, not to toot my own horn, I did make the trip down to where you guys all are because you're all south, little south, little west of me. Yeah. And if I'm leaving at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm, back in high school and I have an empty tank, there's nowhere to get gas.
Nothing around.
Like the whole pump your own gas thing, the whole sitting in your car and you're like, if it's cold, I don't have to get out. Well, also, if it's midnight, you're not getting gas. So I think it's dumb. I think it should stop. That's my opinion. So I'm a sell.
You said you'd sell pumping your own gas. So technically you're buying.
I'm sorry.
So that whole time I was thrown backwards.
Thank you for clarifying because I was like, damn, I hope I'm not next. Let Pat go,
I'm out on flexing about not having to pump your own gas, to be clear.
I'm pretty neutral on it. I do love when it's like freezing out and you just pull up and you just chill and you're like, yo, this guy's going to come over and I'm just going to hand him my car out the window. If you're going to tell me it's not grit of me to get out and do it myself, sure. It's not. Yeah. Sometimes you pay for the luxury.
No grit, bro.
No grit, bro. I will say my pops is the kid. Like he's lived in New Jersey for 30 years. He's been there. He knows the rules. If he pulls up, and to your point, Willie, on like the things need to happen right now, if he pulls up and puts his car in park and nobody is walking over to him,
get out.
He gets out of his car and he knows he can't pump it, but he'll start like doing it himself. And the guy's like, you can't do this. You can't do this. And he's like, well, you're not here. So I'm like, Pops, like this is all performative. This is all like, you should have signed up to be an actor. You should be an actor because you can't pump your own gas.
I'm on board with your dad, 100%. Yeah. I pull up to the gas stations. First of all, I pull up the majority of places I fill up is Quick Check by me now, and it's open pretty much 24 hours. All of the pumps. Sometimes you pull up, there'll be like 16 pumps, and they have cones on 14 of them.
Yeah,
I want to flip out about that. But I'll pull up to a gas station. I like to pull up on like the one where it's right next to the exit, furthest away, obviously, from the attendant. And I don't want to talk to anybody. I pull up, I get out, I start pumping, I get back in the car, and I sit there like maybe they forgot they pumped it or somebody else, maybe the other attendant. I like pumping my own gas. I got somewhere to be.
Wait, so you just do it?
Yeah.
How do you do it with the code? Don't you have to like insert a card?
No, you put your card, it's the touch or you insert it, whatever.
Hit the green button.
That's it. And Quick Check, I've gotten pretty good with it where I just literally 1, 2, 3, pull it, grab it, hit regular, throw it in there, and that's it. I have no time to wait for that. Listen, they've been working hard all day. I got nothing against them. It's a job for people. I get it. But I also don't want to bother them. That's another thing. Yeah. Like, I'm going to, hey, man, you fill me up. Hey, regular and this and that. They're having a bad day.
They start washing your window. They're looking for a tip.
I'm on the run too. I feel like I'm running from the helicopters all day too. I gotta go here. I gotta go there.
Yeah.
The schedule is hectic. So if I pull up, I'm pumping it real quick, and I'm taking it out, and I'm gone. That's it.
Yep.
No receipt, no nothing. Take my money. I'm out. That's it.
Okay.
So
wow. All right.
Yeah, I'm over the whole let me do it. Leave me alone.
Hey, can I jump in right quick with a quick interrupt because I did go down the rabbit hole of our friend New Jersey governor Twitter page, and I thought this was a hilarious tweet. If Disneyland is the happiest place on earth, where do you think the saddest place on earth is? It's just
I'm telling you, even if you're not from New Jersey, this account is a really good follow.
And this is this is the Willie Cranick tweet right here. They all just hate New Jersey, but are not haters in general. Can't even pump your own gas. The worst. And then the account says, "Sorry, can't hear you." Sound of me asking for 20 regular cash.
Well, this brings me to my next thing with the pump and the gas thing. So, like a lot of the guys that I work with, right? They all have nicer cars, and they don't put regular in. So it's happened a couple times where they got their nicer car, they're out, and they ask for premium, right? And they say, 20 premium. Well, they go to pay, they look out, they see that the regular nozzle is in their car. And they get out, now there's an altercation, and 90% of the time, what does the attendant say? Yo, dude, you said regular. Yeah, no, I didn't. So that's another thing. Yes, it's good for the jobs, if we're going to get political or whatever, happy horse crap. But at the end of the day, I said premium, you just ruined my car. Now,
we don't need to introduce another variable. It's unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. That's it. Appreciate the big box there. Moving on to my next one. This one is a little highly contested. Where do we all sit on Atlantic City?
I don't care.
In or out?
I'm out.
I mean, you
Good
don't care
song, though.
You don't care?
Me?
Yeah, you don't care for it?
No.
Here's my thing. It's tucked away. Like it's not like in everybody's face. It's not like it's in Bergen County or up by the city. It's kind of tough. You have to go out of your way to get there. But it's not personally for me. I went a couple of times, like right when I turned 21. I'm a seller. Out. I don't need ads when I'm walking down the boardwalk. It's not for me. So I sell.
Well, I like it. I mean, we go down once every year for a golf outing. We stay 2 nights. Does my wallet like it? No. Are you a winner? No. The house always wins. Yeah. Am I a huge gambler? No. But some roulette, some blackjack, a couple of Jack and Cokes. Not so bad.
Hey.
Two legends. 1 can. Man. Well done, Willie. Did you do that on purpose? Did you do that?
Yeah, I did because I always watch Pat. He promotes it. I love it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Last one for me, and this is a little bit of a guilty pleasure. My dad will be upset with this. Jersey Shore, the TV show. Fantastic show. Awesome garbage television watch. I think you look at Love Island, you look at some of the other crap television that comes out. Jersey Shore really set the tone on this. Big Brother, all these other shows. I think Jersey Shore is fantastic. Was it a net negative for the state? Maybe. Was it a net positive for entertainment? I believe yes. I am a buyer of Jersey Shore.
Stamp it. That show was awesome.
Completely agree.
It was real entertainment that had no one thinks of Love Island or Big Brother or whatever those other shows are and Jersey Shore had its own culture. I'm not saying that was any representation of what the entirety of the Jersey Shore is like.
Right.
But it was fun. You got DJ Pauly D. You got all the fun gifts. You got Jim Tan laundry. Like, that's real. That was the crossroads of entertainment and comedy at some points when you're like, this is hilarious that this is real, and I love it, and it's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Fire. Willie.
100% in. I mean, listen, could they have made that show now? Probably not. That's probably why it was so good then, and the timing of it was great, and that's why these other shows, you can't really compare them. I don't even know what Love Island is. Never will watch it. You probably could have.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. I know. Yeah, you will. You will. Yeah.
It's good.
So Juliana is big on Love Island, so it ends up on the television sometimes, and you end up having to watch it, and then you talk yourself into liking it. So
But yeah, I don't think anything can compare to it.
You a buyer on that one too, Billy Ray?
Well, yeah. Love Island?
I'm kind of a buyer. It's kind of a fun show. Yeah, it's like that. It's like that Twitter video where it's like, the dude is like, "This show's so dumb," and then like 2 weeks later, you're like, "I can't believe Kim did that to John."
Yeah,
and then you're in. So like,
well, I'm sure if Nicole twisted my arm and I watched it, I'd probably be like that a couple weeks later. Yeah. But could I compare it to how good it was?
No. We're talking No, we're talking freshman football versus varsity. That's what I have. Taylor Ham was on there, but that's a buy from everybody. So does anybody order bacon, egg? Like, I got to be honest, if you're from New Jersey and you're in New Jersey and you order a bacon, egg, and cheese at a bagel store, I'm going to embarrass you.
That's
like, I'm going to. You do that?
Yo, bacon, egg, and cheese all day.
Come on, man.
Listen, do I like to tell him? Yeah, but there's just something about, I just love the bacon. I love it.
It's just crazy that in 49 other states you can literally do that, and this is the one state, one of maybe 3 states where you can rationalize doing that, and you just bend the knee. I don't know. I thought you were better than that. Willie, do you have anything that you want to submit? I also say one more that I just thought of. I think it's really interesting that garlic knots are not like garlic knots are like. When I was in New Jersey, they were just like regularly in my vocabulary. If we were going out and we were getting Italian, I knew we were getting it. And then when I went elsewhere, I realized it's not something that's on the menu. Another thing, the whole concept of paying for bread service is crazy. Like the fact that if you go out of like the tri-state area and you want bread service, they're going to charge you like $3.50 to bring bread out. That's dumb. New Jersey would never do that to you. I actually don't think I've ever dined out in New Jersey and have had to pay for bread. But in other states, that's pretty normal. Here in Charlotte, Pat, been out to 2 nice Italian restaurants. They're charging for bread. That's crazy. So never in New Jersey.
They do charge for bread at the Jimmy.
Yep.
Yeah, once I sit down, if you don't have that bread out there, I'm losing my mind.
No. Where's my oil? Where's my balsamic? Where is it?
It's a staple.
Yeah.
It's a fixture.
I need something to do once I sit down.
Yep.
Something,
Willie, anything on buy or sell?
Oh, I was actually thinking about this the other day because I was going to go, but then I said, nah, Six Flags. How will you guys feel about that?
Okay, let me jump in here. So, I can't tell you about 2024 statistics, but I can tell you about 2012 statistics, where King Ka was the tallest and fastest roller coaster on planet Earth at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. Got some good coasters there. Six Flags, you got El Toro, one of the better wooden coasters on the East Coast. You got Nitro, which is very similar to like Apollo's Chariot for the Busch Garden fans. You got what's the standing coaster, the Green Lantern, which is fine. You got that. That's next to Superman. Everyone who's been to Six Flags has been to Superman. You're laying on your stomach. That's a great ride. I'm such a buyer in Six Flags Great Adventure. It's an iconic park because of how great the rides are. You're not going there to get a picture with the Looney Tunes, all right? You're going there because you want to ride King Ka 17 times and potentially sit front row and get a rollback when you're at the top, and you got to come back down and get shot back up again, all right? I'm a buyer.
Hey, Pat, that was one of your best 45 seconds on this show of all time.
Yeah, you definitely worked at Six Flags at one point.
That was fantastic. I have to admit, I've never been to Six Flags. Growing up, I was a Dorney Park guy. I would go ride the Hydra. I would go over to Dorney Park, had a great time. Reason being, parents used to have a place up in Jim Thorpe. So I went to Dorney Park, never went to Six Flags. I need to cross that off of the list, need to get that done. But I just think a lot of people, this may come across as disrespectful. I think a lot of people that take themselves way too seriously, like poo-poo on people who like Six Flags or like King's Dominion. I'm never going to be that guy, never going to be that guy. So I would love to go. I'm a buyer. I think it's pretty cool. I know Hershey Park is also very accessible to New Jersey. You got Dorney Park, you got Six Flags, you got a lot of options. And now you got the Mall of America or the American Dream, whatever you want to call it.
I was right about to say. No, listen, let's talk about American. Hey, listen, if you're in North Jersey and you haven't been to American Dream, this is like, I don't even know how to describe it without saying, hey, go grab your sibling, grab your uncle, grab your mom, go to American Dream and check it out.
It's worth the walk around. Like it really is. Like I'm not saying you have to dedicate a day to it, but like I was totally out because I had watched it being built for 10 or 15 years. It is worth going and seeing. You don't have to buy anything. Like just go look at it.
No, you gotta buy stuff.
Yeah.
What? The candy shop right next to Nickelodeon and all like that section.
Okay, I don't know it that well. I've only been once.
Well, I've been a couple times, but
it sounds like it.
$250 in that candy shop, bro.
You spent $250 on candy?
It wasn't like just for me, it was buying for a bunch, but we were buying, dude, the Swedish fish, the big.
I can't imagine spending $250 on candy. What, like, do you have a picture of how much you left with?
2 floors. Yeah, there's everything. Everything. I spent at least $20 on Double Bubble alone when you go.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
For the folks who don't know what American Dream is, there's an amusement park inside at Nickelodeon. There's a
ski lift.
Park. There's an indoor ski lift. Big Freeze. They got the ice rink. They have like a royal promenade with like Gucci and Versace and Balenciaga and all these other stores that I've never walked into and don't own a single because I have rowback. But
you can ski inside. Like I just don't want that to be just slated. You can ski inside. There's a snow making machine inside, and you can ski inside in August. It's unbelievable.
This is like if Buc-ee's. This is like if you took Buc-ee's and you said, hey, can you just like augment this a little bit into like an amusement park vibe with some upscale shopping? Like it's kind of what it is. And it's right next to MetLife Stadium. So if you guys ever want to see Danny Dimes or Tyrod.
Yeah. If you ever want to watch the Giants or the Jets. Yeah. If you ever want to, if you ever want to waste 4 hours of your life. Sure.
Giants.
But you should check out the mall. The mall is unbelievable.
American Dream.
Couple things that we do right. This is no disrespect. People will take this and blow it out of proportion. I had never heard of putting ranch on pizza ever. Like I had never even considered putting anything on pizza until I left the state of New Jersey. Ever. Like Pat, I don't know if when you were growing up, like that was a thing that's when I went down and granted, I will admit now, like ranch on pizza is good. It is a perfectly fine thing to do. It tastes really good. When I first saw people doing it, I thought they were insane. Like when I got to Blacksburg and people were dipping their pizza in ranch, I was like, this is crazy. You should seek help. But I think that just speaks to the level of pizza making ability that is in the Northeast. That's one thing that I recognized. Willie, any thoughts?
I would never dip my pizza with ranch, blue cheese, none of that. No way. Maybe hot sauce, but other than that, I'm not dipping anything.
I need to try that. Never heard of that. That's what I got. Did we miss anything? We covered kissing on the cheek, reality television, bread service. Anything else on New Jersey that we want to brag about? Bruce Springsteen, obviously, Anything else? Whitney Houston, Shaquille O'Neal.
Great beaches.
Great beaches.
Great public education.
I hate to do this. I'm going to continue to do it. New Jersey beaches crush Virginia beaches. This is really just not up for debate at all.
Who's debating you?
There are some people debating it. It was wild to me. New Jersey, in terms of coastline, I actually don't think that you will find a better continuous coastline on any state up north. And I don't think you will find a better continuous coastline down south until you get to Florida. Is that a crazy statement? Keep me honest, guys.
I mean,
you should write a research.
Yeah, I've never been to beaches in Virginia, so I can't comment on that. But
really, no disrespect, great people there. You're not missing out on much.
How's the sand on the beach? That's how we got to really think about this right now. Is it rocky?
I got to be honest. I've never stepped foot on the actual beach. I've just spent time in the surrounding areas. But I don't think there's like a true.
The VB sand is like kind of like brown. Like it's not the sand that you're like, I can't wait to
walk my toes in there. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If it's that or mud, I'm choosing that.
But we don't have any mud options in New Jersey. Again, there's something for everyone in New Jersey. If my parents want to go on a romantic getaway as two around 60-year-olds, they can go to Wildwood. They can go to LBI. They can go to, they have plenty of options. If me and Willie want to go drink a million Miller Lights and listen to, we can go to Belmar. We can go to Montauk. We've got plenty of options.
Montauk is literally in New York, my boy.
You're right. So we can go to Belmar. And then other than that, if we all wanted to be
nice, that's why it's on his mind.
Have you even been to Montauk?
I have been to Montauk once with my parents. I was like 8. Was in New York. But we got something for everybody. And then if you want to go gamble and, stay up till 2:00 in the morning, spend no time on the beach. And when you're walking around the boardwalk, get some advertisements, go to Atlantic City and Cape May. Oh my God. Cape May. Unbelievable. So anyway, I think that's everything that I have on New Jersey. Does anybody else have anything else?
We've gone for an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, we could go on forever, but I don't want
Willie, I'm so excited. I got to say, Willie, your allegiance and consistency with Virginia Tech has been awesome. And we haven't paid you back yet with a team that you're probably going into the precinct and talking about. You know what I mean? I hope that one day.
I brag about the environment.
No, you know what, Willie? But that's the problem.
I make it seem to my friends like you guys are like mob bosses, and you're letting me into the family a little bit for the weekend, and you guys just show me around and let me do whatever I want and run wild. That's how I make it.
We go on these walks. We drink coffee. By the way, we pump our own gas. It's crazy. It's crazy. But no, I hope that look, I've said this a bunch. Virginia Tech needs to get to a point where it's not just an environment thing. We got to start winning some games. Got to start getting back to where we were in the early 2000s and pre-2010. But I digress. Pat, shout outs.
Here's my question. First of all, I have a question and a shout out. My question is, if you are a Hokie fan listening and you've made it to this point in the podcast, please, 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 you see Willie K around campus this weekend, you gotta give him a shout out and say, hey, saw you on the pod. Jersey, do something, try to get a rise out of our Bayonne legend.
Yes.
Willie Krajnik.
It's not that hard to get a rise out of me. I'm sure if you just say hi, I'll be a couple drinks in and I'm going to be going wild.
Willie, real quick, just so it's documented, wish list this weekend, anything that you haven't done yet that you want to do or things that you're looking forward to doing?
The walk.
We get the walk. I get it. Willie will go for a walk. I promise we'll go for a walk.
Make our way to Tots, okay, but I don't know. Am I going to get – I'll probably drink – it's the rail, right? The one that gets you really messed up?
Yeah, that's it.
What's the I'm not going to beat the record, but maybe a couple of them. That's definitely the goal.
A couple of rails, okay.
Yeah, it's a 3:30 game. I'll be sober by midnight. I'll be all right.
Okay. All right.
That's definitely on the list. Other than that, I'm just really excited to listen to 6 hours worth of Enter Sandman. And the 6 hours of it is still not going to be as good as when I hear when the boys run out.
Well, Willie, I don't know if you heard, but last week, our last home game, we had like a timing issue. So I hope we fix that.
It'll be fixed. Willie's coming to town. It'll be fixed.
If there's a timing issue, somebody's getting left. There's no way you're ruining Enter Sandman for me. Timing, malfunction issue. It's not happening. No, it's not happening. Somebody's got to answer for that, isn't
it? Patrick, shout-outs.
Aaron wants to keep the momentum rolling. 1-0 with Aaron shout-outs. So the next shout-out is from Aaron. She says, hey, listen, Rutgers, what a special place, but Virginia Tech is a more special place. Beat Rutgers.
Wow. I am holding it down. I have to shout it out. Juliana is in Fort Lauderdale doing some work stuff. I'm here on my own. I also have to say I'm pretty proud of myself over the last couple of years of traveling. I've had to blur my background because my background was super embarrassing. But now I have pictures on the wall, fluffed pillows, actually some adult stuff, which is really exciting. So shout out to being an adult. Shout out to Jay on her trip to Fort Lauderdale. Willie, take us home.
Well, I'm very excited.
Yep.
I wish it was already Friday and I was driving down really bad. So this next 2 days are really going to suck.
Yep.
But when I hear Johnny Cash, I'm going to get really ready. And then I'm going to chug a beer. And then Enter Sandman is going to take us home. And then I'll probably black out. So you got to let me know what the score is. That's what it's going to be like.
Willie, I got to be honest. So I was thinking about this. Your record at Virginia Tech games, real quick, loss at West Virginia, loss at Pittsburgh, loss at Maryland. Did you come to the basketball game in Brooklyn?
No.
You didn't? Okay. Did you lose another game other than that? Or those the three?
Yeah, you got the Pinstripe Bowl.
Pinstripe, West Virginia, Pittsburgh. That's it.
Yeah, went to 2.
Right? This is the winning streak.
Yeah. Oh, no, you went to Rutgers. So 4.
Yeah, Rutgers at when it was up here.
So you're 4-1.
1-4, Billy Ray.
1-4.
I wish I was.
You got an opportunity to get another one in the win column. I hope it happens for you. Bring that good juju, my friend.
I hope so.
Willie Cranick, you're a gentleman and a scholar. Pat Finn, love the fireworks. Great pod. Almost a feature film, hour and 47. If you made it all the way through the pod, comment below pineapples, because that's the only way we know you made it all the way through. And we will see you in Blacksburg Friday night or Saturday night, pumping our own gas the whole way through it. Go Hokies. Beat Rutgers. Enjoy the games. We'll see you
guys.